Daniel here. All right. In the previous video, we had it was basically introductory part of Python programming language, where we learned processes of installing Python on our operating system. We also installed pycharm IDE, which is an integrated development environment for writing Python programming language, Python script on our operating system. So in today's video, we'll be covering Python variables, data types, control flow, which is if statement and loops. Then we'll be ending the video introducing the concept of functions. I gave definition, which was a theoretical aspect of what function is all about. So while you journey along with me in this channel, we're going to be implementing a lot of using Python programming language to write our programs, and as well introducing a concept of object-oriented programming to make our program more modular. And so today we'll be talking about variables, data types. So let's start with the variable. I'll be kind of making a theoretical aspect of it, then give you a practical application of whatever it is that I say. So a variable in programming is a symbol for memory location. Now consider a variable as a way or as that leads you to that block of memory. A variable is a symbol for memory location. It locates to you where your data is saved. So that's what a variable is all about. Then we have data types. So for you to name a variable in Python programming language, I would also like to introduce you the concept, or maybe the and should I say, okay, the rules naming your variables in Python programming language. First rule is this: your variable name must not start with a number. If you have something like one name, it's wrong in Python programming language. Your variable name must not start with a number, but you can have name one. Your variable name may contain a number, yeah, but it must not start with a number. So that's one. Then secondly, your variable name should not contain a special character, but it may contain an underscore, which is also a special character anyways. But your variable name should not contain a special character. This is the reason. If your variable name contains a special character, it confuses your interpreter. Either it is doing arithmetic operation on two different variables, or it doesn't see that as a variable. Yeah. So it's seeing that as two different variables that you want to carry out an arithmetic operation on. For instance, if you have something like first asterisk name, sorry, my first I spelled it wrong. Sorry, forgive me. First name. Now, if you look at this very well, your interpreter is seeing this as if you want to do multiplication on first and name, two separate variable. That's why your variable name should not contain a special character. Or maybe you have first plus name is wrong. Yeah. So for one thing about program or computer languages, it doesn't have that ambiguity. Like in human language, you can have one thing having different meaning. But in computer programming, it doesn't have that ambiguity. It makes it easier that this is this. So it doesn't introduce that much ambiguity. So your variable name should not contain a special character. If you want to have something like first name, your variable name might have an underscore. You can have something like first name, last name, or so. Yeah. Or student age. You can as well have student name. Oh, sorry, I spelled student wrong. Student name or so. So that is it. Then another one is in kind of a tips is a custom or so. So your variable name should be explicit. Yeah, your variable name should describe what it does. Something like for first name, yeah, this is descriptive enough to tell you that this is someone's first name. But if you're having X as someone's first name and you're tagging it to Daniel, this wrong. Is not gonna that this variable name is not that descriptive. Yeah, it doesn't actually tell what it does. So, but if you have a variable name that says first name to be Daniel, or you can use first name to be Daniel and first name to be Daniel. Yeah, it's important to note what we have here is basically variable name assignment. Yeah, assigning a value to a variable name. You understand? So, and it is also important to note that variable names are unique and they are case sensitive. For instance, in programming language and A, they are not the same, both in concept and in application. They are not the same. If you have other variable name like first name and first name, they are not the same. They are two different variable names. So I want you to know that variable names are unique and they are case sensitive. So those are the tips. In Python programming language, we use snake case. You can say first name. This is a snake case, but you can choose to have what's it called first name this way, but are two different things. Yeah, this the last first name is a variable name, and it is different from this what's it called the first name. This is the reason I told you that they are case sensitive and they are unique. Now, this is a camel case and this is a snake case. You can use in whichever way, but according to Python enhancement proposal, use the snake case. Yeah, it's like a custom. You can say 2 plus 2 in whichever way. But at the end of the day, we're having the same logic implemented. So these are the rules of naming your variables. So make sure your variable names are explicit. If you want to say name, just say name. Don't say x equals and assigning a value of name to the person's name. So that's very important. Then the next thing for we to understand here is I think I've made mention of variable assignment. If you want to assign a value to a particular variable, because what we do is we assign a value to that variable, then when we want to reference that value, we don't reference the value itself, we reference the variable, and the variable will give us the name or the value that is assigned to it. For instance, I want to say someone's first name. Remember, in our first program, we wrote a program in Python that prints the word hello world, and that was print hello world. And when we run this program, it print out the word hello world. Oh, my system is a bit low. Yeah, it prints out the word hello world. Now you can assign a value. Remember that this is a string literal. Yeah, a string literal is a value that is enclosed in an opening and closing quotation mark. It might be double or single quotation mark. Now you can assign a value to this and say hello equals hello world, and you can copy this hello and print the hello instead of the hello word. Now, instead of printing hello, this hello is a variable name that holds the value hello word. Now, our print function will give us the value hello word. And this is called variable assignment. We assign the value hello word to the variable hello. And here we are want to print the variable hello. We are not actually printing the variable hello, but we are printing out the value that the variable hello contains. So when we run our program, we're going to still have hello world here. Yeah, this is it. We have the word hello world here. So that's variable assignment. You can assign more. You can say first name, my first name, then last name, my last name. And you can print. You can just play along with this. Print first name, then print last name. Then you can just run the program. It will print hello world, Doki K, and Daniel. That's just it. Hello world, Doki K, and Daniel. And that's for variable assignment. Then the next thing we need to cover here is data types. All right. It's important to take this one after the other because theoretical understanding of this will greatly help you in the practical application. A data type is a range of value from which a programming variable will assume its value. Yeah, it's simple. is like a house, or let me say a universal stuff that you can pick what you want to be. For instance, you are coming out, or okay, you can choose to be a male or a female or maybe other gender, anyways. Okay, let that may not give us a perfect example. Let's say, okay, good. Our switches in our home can choose to be on or off. Yeah, on there is a programming data types, which is a Boolean data type. We're going to talk about that anyways, but just note that a data type is a range of value, or data types are a range of values from which a programming variable will assume its value. So let's give an example of this. For instance, the first name is a variable and it has assumed a it has assumed a data type of type string, short for str. So if you have this first name equals Udokike, yeah, is a variable assigned to a value Udokike. But the data type of this variable is string. You can check this out by saying print type. Type is another function in Python that gives you the object of that particular variable, or the type of that particular variable. But I want you to know that everything in Python is an object. Yeah, we're going to be diving into object-oriented programming. In Python, OOP is an approach that is used to model real-world scenario into programming language. And when you instantiate, or when you make an instance of a particular class, it is called an object of that class. So in Python programming language, everything is an object. Okay, if we say type first name, this will give us the class in which the first name belongs to, or in this aspect, let's say it will give us the data type that the first name variable is. When we run the program, just take a look at this last one. When we run the program, it's coming up. You can see class str, which is short for string. So a data type of string is a value that is enclosed in opening and closing quotation mark. Instead of Daniel, you can have a number, but once a number is enclosed in an opening and closing quotation mark, it is no more a number but a string. And any addition operation that is done on this particular variable, it is called concatenation and not addition. Okay, let's go and have something like num equals 1, and let's say num2 equals 1. Now let's just take a look at these two variables. We have num1 equals 1, then num2 equals 1, or let's just say num2 equals 2. Now the difference between this and this is one is a string and the other is an int, which is an integer. I will not tell you the one that is a int or the one that is a string, but let's just run the program, then I will give an explanation of what the difference between the two. Then let's say print num1, num2. Now you can give many arguments to the print function until to print them. Look at this, we have num1 and num2. So we want to print out the type rather. So let's just say print type, the type of variable it is, and type num2. Remember, the number of opening bracket must be equal to the number of closing bracket. Okay, let's run this and see. Now, look at the last part. We say the first one is int and the second one is string. If you can see that this is an int and this is a string. This is a string because it is enclosed in an opening and closing quotation. And this is a number because it is a whole number. It isn't enclosed in any opening and closing quotation. Then the next data type, remember I mentioned string and I mentioned int. Then the next data type is float. Yeah. Now a float is a number that's not a whole number. Let's just say a float is a number that contains decimal point. Yeah. It is important to note that there are scenarios in which you will need an integer data type. Maybe you are storing student age. Yeah, you need an integer data type. Another scenario is in fact, age is the perfect example. But for instance, you are building a program that stores money, or let's say program that stores population. Okay, population can be an integer, but let's say a program that stores, let me say, weight of someone's weight, you understand, or maybe the density of rainfall or so. You don't actually need a whole number or a data type of int to store such information. Or take an instance, you want to run a program that stores someone's CGPA, cumulative grade point average. Now, in this aspect, you need a data type that can store precisions of decimal point of such value or such record. Now, in this aspect, we need a float. Let's say like CGPA equals 4.56. I'm sorry to say. So CGPA 4 equals 4.56. Yeah, this is someone's CGPA. And in fact, this is my CGPA. I graduated with first class. Yeah, computer science and informatics, Federal University of Tweke. Now, if you want to check the type of variable, let's first print CGPA. This will actually print this CGPA. Let's run the program. Okay, it's coming up. Now you can see it printed out 4.56. Yeah, and that's the CGPA. And when you print out the type, let's print out the type. Type CGPA. Let's run the program and see. It's coming. I don't know why my system is so slow today. Maybe I have many applications running under the background. But anyways, you can see this is a class float to tell you that it is not an integer, it is a float data type. Then another data type to note is maybe if I forget to mention any data type in Python programming language, you can let me know down in the comment section, or maybe you want to understand more concerning any Python data type. You can let me know down in the comment section. Then the next one is bool.